Hey everybody, first off, Happy New Year, 2023. I'm very excited for the new year. I hope you are too. And what I always do every year, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on my channel before, but I know I've mentioned it on my Instagram. Every year on January 1st, I listen to the Beatles' Abbey Road. I don't know why I started doing this or exactly when I started doing it, but it's just something I do every year. And so for this video, I wanted to talk about Abbey Road, and specifically two very unique pressings of Abbey Road that I was given as Christmas presents from my friend Bert. Bert sends me a lot of really cool stuff, and I've talked about many of the great gifts he sent me on this channel before. So this Christmas he sent me, besides he sent me some other stuff as well, but specifically he sent me these two very unique Abbey Road pressings. And I'm going to talk about both of them. So the first one I'm going to talk about is this pressing of Abbey Road. Now, this is very unique. This is a 1973 UK/ French pressing. Now, I say that because the outside sleeve here, this sleeve, is a UK sleeve, a standard UK sleeve, that if you look on the back, it's got the usual Abbey Road back cover, and it's got the printed by Garrett and Lofthouse International. That's the usual writing on the back. So this is a standard UK sleeve, but inside you get a Abbey Road on Apple Records pressed in France, and it has French writing all along the label here. It says made in France, and yeah, the thing about this that's very unique, and this is information that my friend Bert told me, and he included actually some very interesting notes on the inner sleeve there. This was pressed in 1973, and in 1973 in the UK they were having a strike at the EMI pressing factories. So they wanted to keep pressing Beatle records and records in general, so they got their pressing plants in France to handle a lot of the load. So this is one of those. And the thing that's very unique about this, though, is that it has a very odd audio feature. And what that is, it's kind of like the French revolver that I talked about previously. And on this album, the first song is Come Together on side 1. And instead of it starting like it normally does, here it starts about halfway through the very first guitar riff, is what I would say. So you don't get the very beginning of the song. It goes in about probably like a second and a half into the song is when it starts. So it's a very abrupt start, kind of weird, kind of jarring if you're not used to it, but it's a very unique, pressing of Abbey Road. And that was how all of the French pressings were of Abbey Road, as far as I know, up until I think about like the late 1980s when they finally used all of the British versions of the Beatles albums when they did the CDs and all that kind of stuff. But until then, all the French pressings of Abbey Road have this weird come together intro thing going on. So very weird. Now the other thing that's really fantastic about this album is it sounds amazing. Now, I've read about this particular pressing before. Other friends of mine have had it, and I've heard like people talk about it on like certain forums and stuff, but I was never able to get my hands on a copy. So obviously now I have it, and it really does sound amazing. It's equivalent to me of maybe some of the best Harry T. Moss pressings, UK pressings from like the mid 70s that are found in like the Beatles Blue Box, and it's also just, it's got an amazing clarity to it, and totally worth seeking out. So this French pressing of Abbey Road is definitely very cool. And if you can get your hands on one, I highly recommend it. Now, the other pressing of Abbey Road that I want to talk about today, and also a gift from Bert. Put this Abbey Road over here. Well, maybe not there. It's right in the sun. Put it right over here. Is this Abbey Road pressing. Now, this is a pressing from Italy. It's an Italian pressing. And let me get the exact date right, because Bert wrote some great notes in here. Okay, this is a 1970 Italian Abbey Road pressing. It's a second pressing, and I'll show you what this one looks like. Again, it has the usual Apple label, but this time it has the text that says "Made in Italy by EMI Italiana," and yeah, it's got actually kind of a cool looking label. You can pause and zoom in if you want to check out the label. The thing about this particular pressing, kind of like the French pressing, is it has a couple of interesting anomalies, I would say, audio anomalies on this. And the main one here is actually not a couple, just one, is that I Want You, She's So Heavy, which is the last song on side 1. As we know, it usually ends with the abrupt cutoff during the big guitar riff at the end. It just cuts off, and then it's just dead silence. On this pressing, it fades out. So you don't get the abrupt cutoff. It just gradually fades out like it normally would if you were, I guess you'd say, not normally, but probably the most standard way a band or producer would handle a song like that is they would just fade it out. But of course, John Lennon is not a standard type artist, so he had that abrupt cutoff, and it was obviously just an iconic moment on Abbey Road. But on this Italian pressing, it fades out, which is very, very interesting to hear. And yeah, this pressing sounds pretty good, is what I would say. It definitely does not compare to this French pressing or any of the other UK pressings that I like so much. But it does sound very, very good, and definitely worth having just for that cool fade out on I Want You, She's So Heavy. So once again, my friend Bert comes through with just amazing Beatle items that he sends to me, and that I appreciate very, very much. So, seeing it as it is January 1st, New Year's Day, I am going to be listening to Abbey Road. I also just got a new needle for my record player that I gifted to myself for my birthday, and I listened to it yesterday, and it sounds really, really cool. I might make a video actually about that specific needle at some point. I don't know when, maybe in the next coming weeks. The other thing I wanted to say is that this year I'm going to be trying to make a lot more Beatle-related and just vinyl-related videos on this channel. I'm going to really try to get back into the groove of talking about records that I love, pressings that I love, all that kind of stuff, and hopefully I'll make a lot of really interesting content for all of you, and yeah, it'll be kind of fun to do. So, I'm going to now listen to this French pressing of Abbey Road, and I want to wish all of you a happy, healthy, and wonderful new year, and stay tuned for more videos. So take care, and bye for now.